Gonna watch back some of Ricky's gameplay. He mentioned he wanted to work on some hitting soon. I actually think hitting is his relative strength and needs to work on just building a better or stronger platform for passing and setting, working on the proper footwork for that, working on communication. Communication is going to help his hitting a lot. Maybe tweak a serve and then anticipating where the ball is going to go just a little bit quicker, and I can help focus on some of those things in this video. Let's do it. Okay, so here, I'm just gonna say, this is like a weak hit to my side, and you're like, if I'm getting this ball up, it's gonna be like somewhere over here. So you need to start moving, before I even touch the ball. This ball, like, goes way out here, but if I'm getting this ball up or if I'm like touching this ball into the net, you have to be ready. You got to move sooner. That was on me though. Look at this pass in a second. Just gonna rewatch the whole play. Not bad. Okay. So first things first on the pass. Am I going too far forward? Let's see what happens. Okay, so just serve receive. You're middle here. So before the play is call on middle, and then you just gotta be aggressive. You're a fucking beast. You're getting every ball. Even even if you're playing with a better player, like you're guarding the middle. Everything in the middle is yours. So have that mindset. Think that they're gonna serve to you, and just be ready to get every ball. This was like a weird. I don't have the technical communication to like talk about this. You like took a step to the left, but I think like you needed your power to come from the camera's left side. Instead, this was like an awkward step over, and then it was just like a little late and like a weak platform. I went for it too. That probably didn't help you. And then it deflected. But okay, you're okay. So like I'm running for this ball. I need you to run with me, and then tell me like I'm with you. I'm with you. Um, ideally you're like already here, so then like we can both kind of relax and not scramble for a ball. But okay, this ball goes over here. You send it like in the deep middle. I think this is a good choice. When possible, you're gonna make fewer errors giving this free ball if you like right now you're facing that way. It's easier to either face forwards or backwards rather than going sideways. Sideways is tough. But this was a good choice. Okay, now he's falling backwards. So like when he's falling backwards on his hit, he's not gonna hit a down ball. You have to be like more on your toes and ready to move. Okay, this is a pretty good up. I do have to like, ideally it's like a little bit lower and more towards the middle, but relatively there's a good up. You're gonna get a decent set here. I'm hand sitting, so you're playing the right side, so you do want to be like kind of in line with my right shoulder, which is good here. You just have to wait a little bit more. So like you never really stop in your approach. Like you wanna pass the ball, set up your approach, stop, and then wait for the set. You're all doing like one continuous motion. So and then you can see like your neck is kind of like cranked up the entire time. It's usually a symbol that you're early here. Like you're already beneath the ball. Just because you're early. But that was good. I'll make a comment on some serves here. I wish I could provide more technical feedback on that digging, but on your serves, you do a pretty high toss. So what happens a lot is you're gonna hit the ball like at let's say like you're gonna hit the ball in the bottom half of the ball a lot. So then the ball is gonna like pop up. So like this ball, it pops like 8 feet above the net. If you do a lower toss, you can do more of like a line drive serve and try to serve like within 2-3 feet of the tape height. Um, so I would consider doing a lower toss unless you do a jump serve. But because you're like tossing high, you're getting under the ball a lot. That was still a like good deep ball though. It's a good touch, but then you see here we just gotta wait a little bit more. So let's see this approach. So this spacing's fine. You could be a little bit more to the cameras right here. This spacing's fine if you give me a call. If you give me a call to a 4 or a 5, which like I'm a capable setter, I can do that. The spacing's fine, but then you do have to wait right now. So like once again, you're probably moving while I'm setting the ball. And then you just get to the spot early. And then you have to like go backwards. Or you have to like you get there, you wait, and then you go backwards. You lose a lot of power. Ideally you want to like wait for the ball to leave my hands. Before that, you're like calling a 4. Very important to like call your sets. That way you know where you're going and the setter knows where to go. Yeah, you're gonna see a good example in a little bit. Whew. Let's see if I can make any comment on that set. The rest is fine. Go back. Okay. So like this is a good pass. You should be hand setting this ball. Let's just see what happens again here. Like you at this point, like they're serving me, you should already be moving forwards. Try to be going to the target. Like most likely, I'm gonna pass somewhere over here, so you want to already be there, or at least like a little bit. But you do move forward. Your first step is inward, so that's good. Let's see, and then like I think you're creating your platform a little late, but this is really just like the issue is the footwork, and I don't know how to communicate it better. But like I can see in your legs here, like you want to have one leg in front, one leg back. If you're on that side, like you want this leg to be in front. Right now, it's the opposite. You're kind of closed off to the net, and you're gonna lose a lot of power or like stability because your legs are just not in a strong spot. You want to have like one leg back here, one leg forward, and then you want to finish forward. So instead, you kind of like get to the ball early, even though your legs are in a kind of awkward spot. You actually end up going a little up, but like ideally, you want to be behind the ball and then push forward. So that set kind of dies, and I think it's mainly just from like the lack of stability in your base there. But okay, this play stays alive. Alexi's getting a ball back. This is a bad set, so we should both be shifting over. This seems fine. I think your butt like might be too far down, but I don't want to get too technical here. What happens is you let this ball like get behind you. Instead, you want to like get in front of the ball, attack the ball forwards, and then you end up like hitting it backwards, and then it deflects back. But if you like attack this ball or like meet the ball instead of just letting the ball come to you backwards, you could get this ball. Not an easy ball though, honestly. Okay, so this is like a worse pass, and then therefore it's just a better example. Talk about the leg. So, okay, you're already at where the ball is gonna land, so then you have nowhere to push forward with your legs. And like once again, your legs are just like in a weak foundation here. I wish I could offer like better tips, but ideally you want to like get behind the ball, have one leg in forward, and then use your body to push the ball forwards. Like this is a bad pass, so it's tricky. But like right now, I just don't know where this set's gonna go. But if you're like behind the ball with a stable platform and like looking forward, you're actually like looking in a decent spot. I would have more confidence of where this set's gonna go. It was actually a pretty good set though. Okay, we should get a free ball here. Actually, like what you did there was, I didn't like the finish, but the positioning seemed good. Nice. All right, that was good. So there's a lot going on. There's a transition play. It's tough. You're getting a set from behind. I'm pushing you all the way out here. That was a just good job getting after the ball. Not so easy. Okay, this is a good one. This is really important, and this can like immediately get you 2 points a game if nice touch. I'm getting tired at this point, and that's a double. Nice. Okay. So right here, we're backing up out. This seems whatever to me. I think like once again, you this is like you get in this stance a lot where you don't have a strong stance. Like if someone like poked your legs right now, you could fall over easily. Um, if you like ever played basketball and you like asked for a basketball defensive stance, like you would like that's kind of a decent stance to be in. Your legs should just be a little bit more like spread out, and you would have more stability. Right now, they're like more thin than your shoulder distance. Maybe consider like putting your legs shoulder distance apart. Okay, but anyways, so this is my ball, and like if I'm touching this ball, most likely like this ball is going around here. But like just in general, the ball is hit to your partner. You need to start moving to your partner ASAP. So knowing like this ball is going to be in this vicinity, you need to be there before the ball even goes there. So instead, we're just like a little late. And then because we're late, there's going to be less consistency with this touch. But okay, because so okay spot. We finished play. Nothing else really happened that was interesting after this. So let me actually see if we can. This is a good touch. So one thing with this though. Okay, so we're hanging out at the net here. He sits back, and then like now you need to get back in your defensive stance immediately. Get back to your spot. Like now we're just getting ready, and he's hitting the ball. Like we're still moving backwards, so it's really hard to get any ball that's in front of us because we're still moving back. You actually still get this ball, but like you're late because you started late. This ball could have been easier. This is like a transition play. There's like a long play. It's not that easy, but like that's just that's how you can improve this ball. Sweet up, you're up, and then you kill it. Nice. Serving the net. It's an okay pass. Oof. This pass was okay. So it's a good deep serve. I would just say, okay, so you get this pass. You know, ideally on this serve receive, you know, you're moving immediately now. And like you're moving your body here so you can get in front of the ball, and then like either with your body or your platform, you're pushing the ball to the middle. You just weren't fully firm. You had to like hop up. You know, ideally you just get there a little bit earlier and you make a strong platform. Said this pops up, which is like a little too far. And then once you do that, like, you know, you're trying mentally, like, you want this set to go to your right hand. The best way to do that is to go straight to the left, you know, get to this position as soon as possible, and then give me a call, you know, give me a call for 4 or something. Or at this point, you could say with you because you don't want to scramble to hit the ball. Maybe I could be more capable of setting than an average person, and you can make a more aggressive call for a 4 here, but realistically, you just want to start shifting over here, ask for like a 4 and hope that it gets to your right hand. But in this position, it's impossible to set to your right hand. So even if this ball didn't go over the net, you would have had to curl over to hit this ball. Okay. Bang. All right. Nice. Sweet. Okay. So, a couple things. You know, this was the outcome was good at least. You were under this ball. It's nice. You were like on my right shoulder. I said to wait. You wait a little bit. That's good. Um, the timing was pretty good here. The one thing with this though is you ended up like you ended up going left to right, which is better than right to left. But ideally, you just want to go forwards, and then like the goal of your approach is so that you can just go straight. Um, you had to like you had to adjust with your arms instead of with your legs here though. So ideally, like you know, this ball was a little bit more to the right of the approach. Um, which is good though. It's to your right hand. So like even though you're kind of like going to the right instead of straight, you had a lot of flexibility in like what you're able to do with this ball, which is good. Whereas like if this ball's to your left, you just lose a lot of power. This is still like a pretty good ball. Nice. The biggest thing for you is just waiting and getting the ball to your right hand. The rest is it's over. That happens. Nice pass. It's a little tight, but and then same thing. It was great. Like you're not like hitting the sand, but these are good enough hits that it's going to score a lot at our level. So let's just watch this again. Still like a little bit to left, but this is good. And then you're able to like go across the ball. So you know, I'm sure there's better feedback to give, but like for this game, that's a good rep. Any ball that's to your right, where you don't have to curl your hand or curl your arm, is a good rep. Nice pass. Nice. That was more in rhythm. Whew. So this is a good example again. We end up getting this ball, but okay. So like, you know, I just take this ball and you're still here. You need to. This is like a really hard thing to do, but you have to already start moving this way instead. Like, you know, I'm pausing too often, but just look at like when you could have started moving versus when you actually did move. You could have had an extra step, and then it's just less of a scramble. We have more control. We could end up scoring here, though. Let's see. Probably not going to score anymore. Oh. I think that was. It's hard to tell on the camera. I think my pass was too tight. I don't know. Boink. Sweet. Oof. Good swing. Um. Someone better would have better feedback. You did a little hop. You didn't have to hop. It's not gonna help you that much, but I think what happened it was just like at the last second you kind of moved backwards. You kind of hopped backwards to the left. You know, if you just make a platform here, and kind of like you know get to the ball early, maybe give it just like a very 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 slight push forwards. Um, you get this ball. Instead, you kind of just wait for the ball to hit you, and you like hop backwards, and then you lose all your stability here. So then the ball pops out. See. We're just kind of late moving. Just looking at this again. I don't have great feedback for this, unfortunately. The biggest thing is just like you have to get your body around it, and I don't know. Let's see. I called middle here. You know, I think the biggest thing is just your your legs. You know, you want to get in a position where you're like getting behind the ball and then having 1 foot forward and 1 foot backwards. Right now, the wrong foot is in front right now, so you're closed off to the net. And then you end up kind of going forwards, but it's more of like a throwing motion with your legs rather than like using your legs and your body to go forwards. But yeah, that one was better. That one was better too. Like the sets on this play, you are like you're setting your body up in a better starting position, and you're like able to actually finish forwards. It's like here you're more behind the ball. Like before, I feel like you'd be here. You're like actually behind the ball, and then you can kind of give it a little push. You know that went over, but let's just watch a couple times more here. Like here, like this positioning is like you're set up much better to finish forwards. Here you have like actually 1 foot in leg. Like this just looks way more stable than any other set you've had. And you're like you're low. You're able to finish forwards and push. Um, I don't know why like it ended up not having really any power on the set, but like it looked good. Kind of similar there. See a third time's charm here. And then kind of the same thing. Like you actually gave your body some space to finish forwards here. Even though the wrong leg was in front, you have a much more stable platform like from your body here, which is good. But yeah, you want the foot closest to the net to be at the net. Oof, that was it. That was one of his best swings yet. Pretty solid. It's a good serve. This is a tough middle ball. There's like a decent amount of pace here. But like, you know, you want to stop this ball like here. Like you want to attack the ball now, and like cut off this ball with your like you want to step through this and cut this ball off. Instead, we're just waiting and you know the ball is making contact like behind you, and then it's gonna deflect back. Not an easy player, but like it's gettable. But yeah, sweet. So what happened here? You know, this is a good ball. This is a good pass. I'm hand setting this ball. You could cheat an extra step, maybe to the left. Make a call. I don't think you did. I could be wrong. Um, and then maybe just wait a little bit more. But it so like you know, ideally you're just like here and then going straight, or like you're taking a one side step and then going forwards. You want the side step to be like you want your adjustment step to be like your first step. Instead, your first step is forward, and then your last step is sideways. So then you're losing all your power. You want your first step to be sideways, and then finish forwards. So instead of finishing forwards here, you know we're like falling to the right or falling backwards. So you're losing a lot of power here. Just watch the whole thing again. I'm actually gonna pause one more time, but okay. So like now you like you know ideally you're like waiting a little bit further back, realizing that the ball is gonna be further to right. Then you're taking your directional step, and then you go forwards. You do not want your last step to be a directional step. You want your last step to be hard forwards. Look at this. Look at this hit. So for whatever reason here, you know, I think it was a little. It might have been tighter than what you wanted. But you had to like you ended up doing this. You know, if you instead of going like this and reaching curling over, if you know get around the ball, ideally you're like hitting the ball at like 2 o'clock and swinging through it. Um, but we lose a lot of power going this. I think it was too tight to be comfortable, but even so, you still want to be on that side of the ball. And then nice. Okay, this is actually a good save. That was a tough serve. Could have been mine. And then you can see me here, like, okay, this serves way outside. Like, I want to be here, and you could also take an extra step to the right. Like, we're both. If he goes over my head, you're there. But like, the most likely, he's gonna hit the ball somewhere over here. Like if he does some sort of cut here that scores, that's a nightmare. So kind of a similar thing before. I think we're just like setting up a little late. Okay, you're getting back to your spot, but like you start getting ready like now when like he's already hit the ball. So I don't like this stance is whatever. Like this is an okay stance to move forward and backwards or dig a ball that's head at you. You can argue about your hand spot, but like whatever. You just get ready a little bit too late. If you're ready, like let's see, if you're ready like now, you just have like an extra quarter of a second to react, and if you have an extra quarter of a second to get to that ball, I think you pick it up. But then let's see the actual like what actually happened was you put like a forward step in right now, and then you got caught in sand. Like if you would have already been in this position, half a second ago, then you could have like took a step with your left, and then did like followed through with your right, and had like a real uh dive or like step for it. But you kind of just got ready late here. Nope. So this is like not a great pass, but something to think about. Okay, so this pass, like your objective when you're sending, like you want to get behind the ball. Here, like you're facing the middle of the net, and like, again, this is because it's a bad pass, but like you had time. Like look how much time there is in the air here. We're like taking a slow step. We're like tracking the ball with our neck and our head, but instead, like if you see this pass, all right, this is a bad pass. Like I need to beat the ball where it's gonna land, get behind it, and then push it forwards. Here we're kind of just like looking up and moving at the same speed of the ball. Um, and then you end up not being behind the ball and like facing where the optimal spot is. Um, so then it just lose consistency that way. But again, I mean that was a bad pass. Oof, straight down. Yeah, we give them a free ball. It's a weird serve. It's tight. And we just get beat by the big man. This might be it. Woo! Woo! Just watch that one hit again. I mean, this was like the best of the day, so. Okay, like here, like you waited. You're taking like a small directional step now, and then you like finish pretty forward. You're like still moving a bit to the right, but notice like you did a sideways step here. It's kind of the wrong way, honestly, but you did a sideways step to the camera's right, which then helped allow yourself to like get the ball to your right side, which is good. Like everything's in rhythm here. And like that's a tight set, and like might not be exactly the set you want, and like you're able to get good pace through the middle of the ball. So just get in the mindset of just like you can crush every ball, or like not even crush, but just like hit a decent ball with pace and a good spot. Like that's just gonna score. You don't have to bounce every ball, but just like have the intention of like approaching aggressively and hitting aggressively. That was it. Hopefully this helped.